I'm CJ.
I'm Kevin, and you're watching This Week in Laketoria, a show where two cousins play video games, talk about entertainment stuff like movies, TV shows, video games, and everything in between. Today, we are still playing ESO, Elder Scrolls Online, and oh, whoa. So, so what are we doing today?
Keep going through dungeons, gaining more levels.
Alright, so is there anything special about this dungeon today?
It was the closest one I found. Nothing really special.
Okay, so then before we jump in, we have our returning guest for, I can't remember how many times now. Andy, he's back! Say hi to Andy, everybody! You can't hear them, but they're saying hi to you.
Sure, yeah, we'll just go with that.
So how you doing today, Andy?
Doing pretty good.
Right,
Rather
cool.
than say welcome back, I'm just going to grant you Laketorian citizenship at this point.
Well, considering that I did the logo work, I feel like, I earned my honorary Laketoria membership.
You have. Dilly
Alright.
dilly.
Yeah, yes. Well, no, we can't say that. Don't say that.
There is no copyright on dilly dilly.
No, we're not messing with that. Okay,
Dairy
so,
Queen had copyrights on the word dilly first.
Did they?
No, it's
Oh.
just dilly bars. I don't know.
Alright, well then, that's fine. Okay, so...
I hope your controller doesn't die.
I hope not either, because it'll be another Tomb Raider all over again. Alright, so... I have faith in it. It's the first time it's gone on. So, let's get started in this dungeon then. Were you eating apples or something?
Yeah, I was.
In and out of game.
Okay, cool. Well then, let's go in with Andy, our guest. He's with me right now. We're gonna go in and kill whatever's in this dungeon. What are you eating?
Okay.
It was an apple.
Is that a
Now he's
pie?
Eating a pie.
It was a
Alright.
pie. It increases like my life and magicka and stamina.
Gotcha. Okay. Well then, we'll move into our next section, which is get to know the guest. And as always, whenever we have a guest over, normally we like to get to know them a little bit better. And for the past 2 times that Andy has answered questions, I've always learned something new about him. So I'm gonna ask him a number between 1 and 205. And when he gives me that number, I'll ask him a question, and then we'll go from there.
I will just go with 205 and make this super easy on you.
Alright, cool. 205.
Although you somehow failed at flipping to the last
I
page.
did. Okay. Oh wow, this. Okay, this question's a little deep. So here we go.
Shit.
So
Alright, guys.
here we go.
Get ready. Get ready.
We're about to get CW'd here. What are you afraid people will see when they look at you?
A strong, independent black woman.
You were
No.
afraid people are gonna. I like the delay.
That was perfect. Oh, jeez. I don't even know.
Well.
I never even, ever considered that I'm not self-conscious about pretty much anything.
So you're just like, all right, when I meet someone, what don't you want them to think you? I'm like, I don't want to think I'm a jerk, so I'm gonna do this so you don't think that.
I guess
Or, I don't want to think
along
I'm.
those lines, I don't want to be, too cocky, I guess, but...
I don't know. When I read that question, I don't even know how to respond to that.
That's the problem I'm having. Ultimately, I don't really care what other people think about me, so the question's kind of hard to answer. But yeah, I guess I just, I wouldn't want people to think I'm too much of a jerk or whatever.
Okay, well.
I know I can have occasionally an abrasive personality, so...
Huh. Well, all right. Well. Yeah, that question was a little weak. My apologies. Well, next time, maybe I should have just read through all the questions before.
You gotta vet your list.
It's like, oh, that could have
This
gotten.
tells
would
me that
like
you
to say-
downloaded this list from somewhere. You didn't. This isn't even your list.
If it's any consolation, Andy, when I met you at the ripe age of 2,
Yeah,
I
right.
did not think you were a jerk.
So
I
you
don't
did
think
your
I
job.
don't think I had it in me back when I was 2 years old. It wasn't until I became thoroughly jaded by adulthood and life in general.
I wish I could say the same for myself. But as Kevin could attest to, I was probably born a jerk.
Yeah,
I'm okay.
There are
CJ,
stories,
I have also,
okay?
I have also
There are
known you since you were
stories.
2.
So many. So many. You're lucky
Get
you're a
that sky
kid.
shard.
Stop this thing for it. Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it. Okay, there we go. Alright, now I'm
Alright,
getting myself in trouble. Alright, cool. Alright, cool.
You're running through the secret.
Help me! Protect me! Okay,
got
cool.
your
Get
back.
those. Alright, I'm gonna get that shard now. Sweet.
Can't do it while you're in combat.
Oh, lame. Okay.
They don't want people to just cheese a dungeon by like training all the mobs to the sky shard, running, and then picking it up and then leaving.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense, I guess. So,
That's what I would do.
we're leaving the get to know this part, the get to know the guest section, and we're going straight into the cousin catch up. This is where I asked my cousin what he did today. So CJ, what did you do? Oh, not today. I guess I'm gonna ask him what he did this week. So CJ, what did you do this week? Oh crap.
You didn't even see him, did you?
Oh,
No, I
this
didn't.
weekend. This weekend was kind of crazy. Not crazy in the sense that, you know, slammed or busy or anything. I had a couple meetings this weekend. Today, I sat around most of the day, kind of just blessed, watching TV, playing Tomb Raider, and for a while I was watching Pete and Pete.
Nice.
Sounds like good old times.
It really was. And Pete in a high C, I felt like the 90s all over again. And I kind of want a tattoo of a girl named Petunia.
You want a tattoo of a girl named Petunia?
Yeah,
That
not her
would-
Pete and Pete.
See, I was always questioned about that. Going, why does that child have a tattoo? Who let that child get a tattoo?
The mother with a plate in her head.
See, she shouldn't be looking over children, letting them get tattoos of. Well, since it's Nickelodeon, she had to wear clothes. But if it wasn't Nickelodeon, you bet that lady would be wearing less clothes on his arm.
Probably. Probably. Is it bad that we hear that lady be wearing less clothes? I thought about Pete's mom, and I was like, why would she be wearing less clothes?
I was talking about Petunia.
Oh god.
Yeah, I figured it out. That's why I said probably. First I paused. I'm like, wait a minute. What channel were you watching Pete on?
Nick at late night.
Why would you assume that mom would be watching? Why would you assume that mom would be wearing less clothes?
Oh
Of
my
all
god.
the TV moms that we can pick from.
We've got thousands of TV moms to choose from, and you chose that one?
Yeah. Like, ugh. Yeah, how was your weekend?
Oh, it was terrible. My weekend was complete. Oh
God,
Jesus.
yeah. So, Kevin learned-
I know. I had to deal with some friend drama, and in the end, I decided to do the right thing and tell the truth. And ultimately, I ended up getting what I thought was food poisoning, but later on, Tracy told me that it was probably a stomach bug because she had a stomach bug for the same amount of time I did. Because food poisoning apparently only lasts a day. I was out for almost the whole weekend. I'm surprised I even went to work. So
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah, that
See
was
what
all
the
the
truth
fun
gets
part.
you?
the important thing here was that Kevin learned a valuable lesson about karma.
It wasn't karma. I was broke. I had no money. I could not go out to do things.
Yeah, but you
I could have
could've lied-
easily.
but you could've lied
yeah,
about
if
it.
I lied about it, I would have gotten away with it because I would have been like, well, what do you know? I got sick. So even if we didn't go to Denny's and
I know.
ate, I would have been fine.
We just assumed that it was Denny's.
I assumed that it was Denny's, and later on I was explaining what happened to me, and Tracy, the girl I work with, was like, oh yeah, I had this really terrible stomach bug, and I'm remembering I finished some of her food for lunch, like,
Did you
Thursday.
remember to thank her for getting you terribly ill?
No, I didn't do that, because if I knew that, I would have just played it off and would have been like, alright, I'm gonna get sick any moment now, and I could have played it off.
No, I mean, like...
Yeah, you're right, I should have. I should have been like, yeah, thank you for that weekend.
Tracy,
Now,
I'm gonna need you to give me
did
2
you lie,
of your
like-
PTO days.
Now, did you lie, like, saying someone wanted to go out somewhere and you were like, oh, I can't, but you really could?
No,
'Cause I do
it
that
was more.
No,
it
he
was.
told the truth, which was that he couldn't because he didn't have money.
It was like they wanted to go to like this club and everything, and I'm like, I've already spent all this money, and I kind of knew that I didn't have money to do it. And I was just kind of like,
you were already level 11. You're level 12 now.
oh, well, that's kind of cool. But I was kind of like, well, I'm not sure if I should go out or not, because they wanted to go to like this club, and I won't name the club, but the club is terrible. Every time I've gone there, there's always been nobody there, and the only time they ever fill up is when they have a DJ, and that's when they open up the swimming pool inside the club, and it's basically a club that's just trying too hard. And I'm like, all right, fine, whatever.
I don't know if I'd go into a swimming pool inside of a That sounds dirty.
It
is.
Sound like you will
It
die.
definitely is. You won't, unless you're drunk, you'll die.
I just
But
mean, like,
Listen, it's like my rule against hot tubs. I'm not taking a bath with any of my friends.
you wouldn't jump in a
And
hot
that's what a
tub?
hot tub is. No, it's a bath with other people.
it's just
Yeah, we might have to
sausage-
say this for everything,
it's
because I have.
it's sausage water.
It's like, I have some hot tub stories, but I'll save that for later.
Ew.
It's just you're taking a warm bath with some other dudes in bathing suits. You wouldn't do
Whenever
that at your
someone
house.
says, hey, you want to get in the hot tub with me? All I hear is, hey, you want to take a bath with me? And I'm like, no, not even a little. And the one time if this, you know what, I'm just going to tell this story. I don't care if he hears because I don't like him that much anyway.
There we
There's
go.
this guy we call Dirty Scott.
Oh god.
That's not a good start.
Dude,
My friend
no.
Mike-
That is not a good start.
My friend Mike had a hot tub, and we had these girls over. And now if it's a hot tub with another girl, all right, cool, I'm in. So I get in the hot tub with this girl, and Scott is like the fifth wheel, and he gets in. He has his bathing suit, and he jumps. He's like, "Oh yeah, hot tub." And he jumps in the hot tub, and I shit you not, the clear water got real foggy and brown.
Ugh.
And I was like, oh my
That dude was
God.
like,
And I'm like,
Kevin, you remember Pigpen?
Yes, I do.
That was who this kid basically was.
Pigpen was clean compared to this.
Wait, so what? Did something happen? Did he ruin like the hot tub or something?
Your inventory's full.
Well, he got in the hot tub and the water started to turn murky and brown. And the girl I was with was like, I have to go to the bathroom. And Mike was like, I'm gonna go check on the other girl. And they both jumped out and left me in the hot tub with this dirty person. And I was trying to be nice, but I just looked at him and I was like, I can't bathe with you. And I left.
Now that there's no girls
And I
in
went
here, this
inside
is a
my friend
bad. This
Mike's
is
house
just a
and took a
man
shower.
bath.
Oh,
And I left. It was the nastiest experience of my life, and it's why I don't get in hot tubs anymore. Especially if a guy gets in, it's not happening. Nope.
fair enough.
I'll get in with a girl, but not a guy.
What if the girl was dirty like Pigpen and you just?
CJ probably wouldn't have associated with her in the first
Well,
place.
now
if
that I'm
was the
married, it
case.
doesn't matter.
Okay, you're right.
But if
It
you
doesn't
asked me
matter.
this question about 7 years ago,
And then that would have
depend on what
mattered.
this girl looks like.
Right, we shallow.
Fair enough.
Because if it was like a cute girl, you just happen to be dirty, like you could put some bubble bath in there and have like a
And
bubble party.
just play
and
it
it's
off
so-
as a bubble
so
party where you're
she's
giving her a
not
bath.
Pretty much.
That seems a little messed up.
Yeah,
But
it-
now
it
I'm
is,
married, and I
but-
got married to a clean woman, so I don't have to worry about these problems.
Okay, all right. So we're moving on. We're moving on to the main, I guess, the main topic, or the main section of this episode, which is about Lindsay Lohan. She actually was petitioning Joss Whedon to be the new Batgirl, and
Read that book.
yeah, I'll
Read a
hold on.
book.
Ah, I'm not doing that. Okay, so yeah.
That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted.
So anyway, the whole thing is, Lindsay Lohan is basically getting her Twitter followers to basically harass Joss Whedon into getting her to be the next Batgirl, which I thought was kind of funny. Joss Whedon is just
Funny, it's very funny.
Joss Whedon's just kind of like, all right, that's cool and all, but since all the writing team, because originally when Batgirl was brought to the table, they were going to work on it, but after Zack Snyder left for the Justice League thing, it was like all hands on deck. So all the writers were basically trying to help with the whole Justice League thing. So the Batgirl thing just kind of left out in the dry. So they haven't really, they're not really running away from the idea of Batgirl. They're just not working on it right now because they're trying to fix their franchise. So
Batgirl, sure, in like 20 years, whenever we get to that movie.
So right now, Joss Whedon's just kind of like, yeah. So it's kind of the deal.
I have a couple of opinions.
All right, go for it.
First, just because you get your Twitter followers to get you into something doesn't mean you should. I.e., this is how we got our president. His Twitter followers voted for him.
Right.
And now we're screwed. I feel the same thing would happen with Batgirl. That's my first point. Secondly, I bet it's one of those situations where they actually are working on Batgirl, but they're telling her they're not, so she'll just go away.
You think they're lying to her? They're just like, but they haven't casted Batgirl yet because well, I think I have his quote here. He said that, I don't know, he said a lot of weird things because they pulled things out. But he said something about, it's like, let me find it real quick. Alright, you have to protect me as I'm reading this.
Hey, Kevin. I'm 35 years old. That's a lie. That's how easy it is. That's what Josh
wait. Okay, wait. All right, I have it. He says, "I'm creating this character. Blah 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 blah. Okay, I'm in dialogue with her. We'll see who joins that later on. I think this is somewhere you go to find Batgirl, and then you cast her. I'm not against movie stars. They're great, but you need somebody who's going to be just right. And in the situation like this, the name carries a lot of weight. Period." And I kind of feel like
the
that's
name
him
definitely
saying
carries a lot of weight. But who's the movie star that he's talking about?
he hasn't casted one yet because he says he hasn't had time to sit down and actually write it.
He's saying he wants to stay away from movie stars, but we're talking about Lindsay Lohan, not movie stars.
I get what you did there.
Sick burn, yo.
I hate Lindsay Lohan
So
so
you
much.
don't think she would make a good Batgirl at all if she was casted?
I don't think she makes a good Lohan, let alone a good Batgirl.
Holy crap, that is a lot of hate.
I just don't really have any faith in her ability to actually portray the character.
No, did you see the image?
She's a bad actor.
Did you see the I believe you're she's a bad actor, and I agree. Well, did you see the image that they put out on Twitter? I don't know if it was her or her followers, but they kind of put an image of Batgirl.
Photoshop her?
They didn't Photoshop her. They just took like a side-by-side comparison. Oh, damn it. Of her.
Listen, you know how many people could play Batgirl?
And Batgirl.
And I'd be happy.
Well, I would be happy with Emma Stone actually if she played Batgirl. What's wrong with Emma Stone's eyes?
They're really big, and they don't make a mask big enough for her eyes.
Her eyes are not that big.
And she has Powerpuff Girl eyes. I don't like them.
All right. Whatever. Who would you cast as Batgirl?
Now,
then?
if there's a Powerpuff Girl movie, you call Emma Stone.
You know, you guys are lucky that nobody's ever gonna watch these.
Shut up, guest.
Why? What are they gonna do? Twitter gonna get mad at me?
Definition of character? I don't know. Yeah, Twitter probably would get mad at you.
I've said worse to better.
Ouch.
But I don't know who I would get to play as Batgirl, but I mean, I'd want someone unknown. Personally, I'd want them to get their start on Batgirl. Because I don't.
And that's what it sounds like he wants.
I don't want a situation like George Clooney playing Batman, where I'm like, George, why are you dressed up like Batman?
Well, what I think he really wants is he wants to write the dialogue for the character first, and then figure out which actors can like properly portray the emotions he wants to get out of that dialogue.
You know, well, Lindsay Lohan only has two ranges. That's high and rehabbed.
Holy crap.
Neither one of them appeal.
Man, this
I
episode
do not
of
like
The Mean Girls.
I'm not sure how I feel about Lindsay. I think I wouldn't be against it if they're like Lindsay Lohan's gonna be Batgirl, because I would actually give her a chance. But being that it's DC, that's probably why I would give it a chance, because knowing very
Well,
well.
You know what a normal DC movie? Is that where you were going with this, Kevin?
You wanna know why I wouldn't be surprised if Lindsay Lohan plays Batgirl? Because DC habitually makes bad movies. So why not cast her as Batgirl?
this way they can just blame the actress instead. Be like, well, you
They
know,
just
I
be
mean,
true. They would just be true to form.
Oh crap! Ow! Ah! Okay, cool.
You okay there, little buddy?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm good. Okay, there we go. Ah, jeez, why are there so many people?
'cause that's what they do.
Because we're backtracking. We're on our way out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, Lindsay Lohan as Batgirl. I mean, I feel like I'd rather see any actress besides.
Even Emma Stone?
If they can make a big enough mask for her eyes, then sure, why not?
Oh my god. Alright, okay. Well, we'll leave it here as a no, because we kind of feel like that Joss Whedon's also saying no as well, going like, yeah, it's not gonna happen.
He's just
Yeah,
being
that's-
polite. I don't know,
Yeah, ultimately, I think that's what it is he's just biding his
just
time
for
and
that,
trying
I'm
to
not
make
even
it seem-
making this movie anymore.
I give up on
I'd cancel
I give
the
up
whole
on movies. I give up on movies as a whole.
Oh. Oof. Nice. Okay, there we
No,
go.
I'm not. I'm
Running.
really trying to think who would I want to play Batgirl, and I can't think of any like young actresses. And but
I think you're right. Well, I think you're right.
like
You'd actually want
35.
like, you'd want a new name.
Yeah.
That's what you'd want.
Yeah, I agree. I think
Yeah,
that's a time to find
want
somebody
someone
new
young.
that isn't known and, you know, give them a shot.
yeah. And then
Especially
they
if
can be
you're
in the bad
giving-
DC movie.
Well, especially from Joss Whedon's perspective, like if he's got a young actress who's, you know, like potentially an up and comer, they're going to listen more to his direction. And
If we're gonna use
ultimately-
old actresses too, we could use Sarah Michelle Gellar because at least they have a history of doing good things. With
That's
Buffy
true.
the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, and have them be like a Stephanie Brown Batgirl instead of a Barbara Gordon Batgirl. Or
Yeah,
just dye her
why
hair
not?
red. I don't know. I don't think I like Sarah Michelle. Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Sarah Miguel Scheller.
Sarah Michelle. I don't know who I'm talking about. She has 3 names though. I don't think I'd like her as a redhead, but that's just me being
I
shepherd.
really
Three
like
names,
this.
though.
I really
Yeah.
like this fictional sea creature that you create.
Yeah, this. I'm like, I don't even know who she is anymore.
I wonder how many actresses have 3 names, like Tiffany Amber Thiessen.
Tiffany Amber
Pamela
Thiessen's an actual
Anderson
last
Lee.
name, I thought. Oh, yeah, well.
And Geller isn't.
Well,
So is
Geller's a last
Geller.
name. I guess Geller is a name. You know what?
Or
Never
no,
mind.
sorry,
Take it
sorry,
back.
I forgot.
What are you
It's
trying to
Scheller,
say?
apparently.
It is Scheller. I'm not even trying to
Sarah
say anything.
Miguel Scheller.
All I'm saying is she has a 3-person name. I don't know. I don't know if I want Buffy to be my Batgirl. That's all I'm saying. I don't think I'd feel comfortable with that.
No, CJ wasn't
Yeah,
saying,
as long as it's
like,
all about crappy
okay.
actresses.
You're just
CJ wasn't saying
Let's have
like, yeah,
Roseanne
it
Barr
better
do
be
it.
her. He's saying if you're going to bring an existing person in, at least bring someone that you have like
Chemistry
with.
In doing like a girl-powered action role, like Buffy, and she's in shape. And Sarah Michelle Gellar never looked old. She's always looked the same.
Well, it's because she's a
It's
vampire
like she was
slayer.
born 30.
She's always looked 30 no matter what. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, she's born 30. the age of 5, she looks like she used to be 5.
Is there any other final thoughts that you want to leave us with? Something that you may have learned, or something that you want to say or promote before we end the show?
You know, I am hoping that with this Avengers Infinity War movie,
Right.
that with part 2, because you know it's not going to happen in part 1, but in
Right.
part 2, they set up something where the titles that they gained from Fox can be incorporated into the new universe.
All right. I mean, I can jump off that final thought.
I don't want them to finish off the story and then try to reboot and bring in like the X-Men. I want them to set up the X-Men with the last movie, with the last Infinity War movie.
So you want to do something to set them up
If
where...
that's the direction they want to, if that's the direction they want to go, I just don't want to see them bring in the X-Men after Infinity War without like a setup. Like even if it's something as simple as just having Wolverine appear in Infinity War Part 2, I want them to link the universes in the next Avengers movie.
So that's your wish, or that's your thought? You want them to link the X-Men and the Avengers universe at the end of the first Infinity War movie?
No, the second Infinity War.
Okay, second.
It can't be done in
Infinity
the
War
first
movie.
one. Yeah, I don't want it done in the first one. The first one I feel like is since the first one I feel like it's already wrapped, and the merger just happened like a month ago.
Right.
It's too late for that. But I feel like with part 2, you can organically work it in, especially when you think about the fact like with the Time Stone and things like that. You can organically work in another universe.
Right.
For the Marvel MCU, for the MCU. But
Okay, that's fine. That works. That's okay. How about you, Andy?
Dark Souls 1's getting a remaster in May. Pretty excited about that.
Yeah, okay. That's good stuff.
yes.
It's like 5 years old, and they're redoing the combat system to use the stuff from Dark Souls 3. So, it's getting a nice update, and it's fun to replay old crap sometimes. So, I'm hoping the game has a nice like PvP rejuvenation and stuff like that, because I've been seeing a lot of people come back to Dark Souls 3 because of the news. So,
Okay.
I'll be pretty hyped for it.
Okay. Well,
I think the one thing I'm worried about that is that's coming out
What?
for the Switch too, which feels weird.
It is what it is.
Well, that's Nintendo's big push now, because they're going to have more M-rated games.
Nintendo's actually the reason why the remaster's even happening, because Nintendo pushed FromSoft to bring a remaster to the Switch along with the rest of the Soul series titles.
Yeah, it's just weird that Nintendo is growing up.
Oh, no, I totally get where you're coming from.
I'm not
just
ready
glad
for
it
it.
happened, because it wouldn't, like, the remaster wouldn't be happening if it weren't for Nintendo, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your final thought, Kevin?
Oh well, I'm actually going to be. I'm actually kind of excited about Final Fantasy 15 Companions, since it's now a multiplayer that's been out for quite some time. I think
That you just found out
that I
about.
just found out about, and unfortunately, since I have 15 for the X1, I'm gonna have to go and buy it for PlayStation so I can play with my friend Billy and replay the whole game all over again. I'm more excited about Companions than playing the game over, but maybe I'll actually play through more of the side quests than anything else. So yeah, that's my
Does
side
Billy
thought.
still have his Xbox?
I don't know. I haven't seen it. All I see is his Switch and his PlayStation, so he might have traded his Xbox. That's why he's pushing for me
I
to
don't know.
get this game.
I see. I might have to join you on that.
Alright, cool times. Okay then. Then everyone give me your sign-offs, because I have rolled the dice and I have my new sign-off thing.
my annual sign off of the week.
Yes. So go ahead, you guys. I'll start with you, I'll start with you, Andy. Give me your sign-off to start out with.
All right, kids, don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Okay,
Or
CJ.
don't get caught.
Oh, okay, don't get caught. Gotcha. All right, CJ, go ahead.
Viva la Laketoria.
All
The
right.
war is coming.
And this is Kevin saying, Cave Johnson, we're done here. Man,
Really?
that really was what it says. Okay, yeah.
Where the hell are you getting these from?
Hey, don't ask any questions. We're out! We're done!
Are you on the
Ending this.
same drugs that Lindsay Lohan's on?
Where's the ending?
Maybe you
Where
want
is
to
it?
play Batgirl.